True Roman bread for true Romans.
Here I am, again in the outdoors, thinking about video games. It's funny how I think about video games in the most tranquil of places. But I wanted to talk about difficulty in games. And I wanted to throw my 5 cents. Now, I don't have any dog in this fight. I'm not a partisan. The internet is split between video games need an easy mode. Video games do not need easy modes. The debacle sparkled by the whole Sekiro article about that journalist saying that Sekiro is disrespectful toward its players because it does not have an easy mode. Now, right off the bat, I want to debunk that. As a professional game maker, I believe that is a fallacy. Sekiro is not being disrespectful for not putting a game mode, for not putting an easy mode. No, sir, it's not. However, the argument between adding an easy mode to a game, I'm on the fence on this, because as with all things when it comes to game development, things are very complicated. I will give you a non-answer right now. Look, here is Hercules. Hey Hercules, what's up, man? How's it hanging? Yeah, this is the Versailles gardens. The stuff that you hear in the back, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a horn. There's an orchestra playing music. I feel elevated already. I hope it's not too much of a background noise. So to the point. All games could use easy mode, but it's not mandatory. I know that's a non-answer. I'll explain. Another confusion that has been passed around between these partisans is about, and proliferated by Cory Balrog, the director of the fantastic God of War. He said, I don't let accessibility compromise my vision. Those are his words. See past the pillar? That's at the gardens. That is the musical garden. Yeah, it's pretty dope. We'll move away from the music. So he said that accessibility, because people are making a confusion, accessibility does not equal an easy mode. Now, allow me to explain what accessibility is. Accessibility means the ability to customize the game to your liking, and not modifying difficulty, mind you, but controls, options, graphics, everything related to making the experience more ergonomic. From modes for the visually impaired to everything in between. The important aspect that accessibility wants to help is, holy shit, there's the mode, is that you should make the game accessible to allow players with some disabilities to be able to play it. And this is a production issue. It's not part of the fantasy of the art, the game direction, and all those things. No, this is part of production, and as with all things tied to production, it is subject to budget. Everybody wants to make their game as accessible as they can. Even Miyazaki said the same about the Dark Souls games. Good UI, good customization, a lot of helpful system that will help you, optimize your experience based on the platform that you're playing. But sadly, these topics fall into the nice to have, must have, as with all things, games on the budget do not rightfully address them, or not all of them. They do not tick all the boxes. Now, there are another category of quality of life improvements, and these are indeed gameplay related, and all games do that, the Dark Souls games included. These improvements are gameplay features, and they are designed to make your life easier during gameplay, during actual gameplay, and in a way they cheat the system. They aid you without being explicit in their work. Stuff like having enemies miss the first time they shoot on you, so that you don't feel cheated, especially if they shoot off screen. When you're aiming, having a little magnetism toward the enemy's heads so that you can land headshots more easily. Enemies telegraphing, having anticipations in early in the game more bigger, so you can have a chance to see it. More HP. Enemies miss sometimes. There are a number of such improvements that all game makers do, and they're very effective. You don't actually feel them. In fact, a lot of the game's difficulty is scaled up and down without you even saying it, without selecting an easy mode or a hard mode. And in fact, even games that do allow you to select a difficulty, they do these scalings regardless. Yeah, it's interesting. So you're being cheated. Yes, you are. You're not as good as you think you are. The game allows you, gives you freebies. It's the same as it in Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and I doubt it if even in Sekiro Miyazaki wouldn't tweak the numbers. With consecutive deaths, stuff gets progressively easier. This is part of the game maker's craft, to make the combat feel good, fluid, and have people enjoying their product. Not doing this, it's either a matter of production or just lazy game making. But it's not the case with From Software games. So they are giving you the tools you need to prevail. They are doing it, make no mistake. Even if they don't say, hey, easy mode, select your easy mode. That is the truth. Now, another thing I want to dispel that no clip, another prominent YouTuber said, is that there is no such thing as creative direction or game direction that prohibits the addition of single player of easy modes. And that is, again, a mistake, because it is. In fact, even if the game is like an opera or a movie, is the work, the combined work of many talented individuals, many artists, there is such a thing as inviolable game design pillars, creative pillars. They're inviolable. And even if the game is like Assassin's Creed, 800 strong people working for years across the world, there are such a thing as creative pillars. So if one of the creative pillars is to maintain an experience that is equal across all the people who play it, where challenge is important. Challenge, what is challenge? Challenge means learning and adapting. How many things you have to learn in how much time? The more things you have to learn and to adapt in a small amount of time, that creates challenge. Shit, I'm running out of battery. Now, as creative, first thing we put to stone are the game's pillars, the creative direction. What do we want to have with this experience? Is this a game that is scalable? Is this a game that delivers on experience? We put the pillars on the paper since day one, and all the design happens and bounces between these pillars. There's no taking liberties outside these pillars. There's no building outside these pillars. That's how it works. So, if you want to create a game that challenge sits at its core, and that by challenge, like I said, it means how much stuff you need to do per second, and you need to have it across the game for everybody to feel and celebrate the challenge and thrive by learning and adapting, then 100% you cannot put different difficulty modes. Now, what the other part said, why does it bother you, blah blah blah, why do you think me playing the game with cheats should affect you? In online games, things are more difficult than this. People don't want to fight against people who took their rewards, the levels, their gear easier, right? That's not fair. Doesn't feel right. But they're far more than this. But what bugs me is that these people are saying, It's about elitism. It's about the get good thing that they hate, that they loathe. And I understand that that can be confounding, and at some moments it can feel a bit elitistic. But games were challenging from ground zero ever since they were made. People love conquering challenges because egos, games, we invest our emotions in our games. We're emotionally invested. It's not just a game. Tilting, all those things, they're real. So going for the low-hanging fruits like that, saying that it's part of being a douchebag and I don't want to be in your club, that is unfair. I think these people are being unfair toward the achievements of other people. I've noticed, I'm aware of the current trend of putting emotions before other people's opinions and facts. And it creates this feeling of entitlement that everything should bend to your particular abilities, beliefs. But creators make their games, they're invested in their product because they make a reflection of what they believe to be true. I'm running out of battery. 6%. Jesus Christ, I have to wrap this up. So, 1. All games should have accessibility. 2. All games are flexible in terms. Okay, I'm shooting with my phone. My camera ran out of batteries. My phone is about to die too, so I need the GPS to come back home, so I'll be brief. 3. There are a myriad of systems that assist you behind the game without you actually selecting easy mode. The fact that they're hidden doesn't mean they're not there. If you do a little research, you'll realize this. 4. There is such a thing as a creative direction, not for all the games, but most of the big games. There are inviolable game design pillars. And 5, not all games need an easy mode. Not all of them need it. And it's not disrespectful not to include it. Sekiro is like a driver's license. It's not a multiplayer game, it's a single player game. But sometimes games are built like that. They know of your toolset and they create this gauntlet of challenges. Like the early Death Trap dungeon games, man, those are amazing games. And Sekiro is like that. If you can cheat it, cheat it. Doesn't matter, doesn't affect the other players playing the game. But it functions like a rite of passage of sorts. That's how I see it. I'm struggling with the games myself. And for sure, if I had an easy mode, I would have definitely took it because I want to play the game. But I'm enjoying being hurt by Sekiro, because it makes me understand the game more molecularly. And this is a game that has the audacity to ask the players, you need to understand me molecularly in order to prevail. This is it. It's this. God of War does not care about this. About challenge, about understanding the game. God of War cares about its narrative. God of War cares about the experience. It's a performance-heavy game. Combat is cooldown based. Doesn't even come close to the toolset that Sekiro gives you. So I don't think it's a good comparison at all. Even though they're both single-player action games. Right, I'm unsure how helpful these vlogs are. Just feel this need to talk, while I walk in these gardens. I think about things that kind of bother me. I'm also aware that journalists are pushing toward these games getting easy modes because they're in the position that they need to finish the game quickly in time for these absurdly difficult games are in the way of their work, and that creates this animosity and these strong feelings. And I understand. I understand. There, but we have to take into account that there is a little bias here. Right. These unscripted vlogs. I'm not sure how helpful they are. I mean, if people are tuning in to get some insight, I think they're gonna have to sift through this rambling to catch something worthwhile. Probably I should do some scripting. I should probably write my thoughts on paper, kind of deliver them on point. Light is fading, and so is the battery. Better get a move on. Yep, that's it. That's it, folks. I'm signing out because it's late. And I need to find a way out of this goddamn park. And this is a nice shot over there. These gardens are insane. They're insane. They're forests. Look how far it goes. It's incredible. I spent all my day here walking. I can't feel my legs and my back hurts like a bitch. But it's been good. It's been good. Alright, peace out.
Gaius, Julius, Caesar, under terms of truce, no unclean tradesman may attend.